Now, if you have put on weight around your middle, maybe you've noticed that your tummy is now bigger than your bust, maybe you already know that you are an apple shape. You really struggle to put dresses on because you find they dig into your waist, they either feel uncomfortable or your tummy hangs over the top of them. What do? Well, today's video is for you. I have got 5 of the best dresses for apple shapes. Now, number 1. This one is particularly good for most body shapes, and I will explain why. And that is wrap dresses. Now, there's a very important factor with this. Now, usually wrap dresses will come and they will have a bit of a V, which is great because it draws the eye down the body. The V kind of points downwards, which is great for you as well. But also, you want a wrap dress that ties or wraps just below the bust. Don't get one that wraps further down over where your tummy area is. Have a wrap dress that wraps just below the bust. Now, there's several reasons why this works really well. The first one is, like I say, it creates a V that points down the body. The second one is it comes in at your tiniest part, which is underneath your bust. Now, one of the best things you can do when you are an apple shape is not wear dresses that hang straight off your bust, skim over your tummy, because all that does is it makes you look really boxy. And that's why these particular types of wrap dresses work really well. They come in at your smallest part. Now, the other thing that's really good about wrap dresses is because they create this diagonal line across the body where the wrap goes across the body. That diagonal line confuses the eye a little bit. So the gathering of the material which points in that direction rather than it being like this can also be really beneficial to you as well. Now, when you're looking for this wrap dress, not only do you want to look for one that ties just underneath the bust, it might tie at the back, it might tie at the side, but essentially so it comes in underneath the bust. The other thing you want to look out for is that then after it ties in, it gently flares out in an A-line, because what that will do is skim over your tummy. So that will make a big difference as well. My final tip for this one is choose colours that are slightly mid to dark colours. You can choose patterns as well. Maybe you go for a polka dot, maybe you go for a floral dress, but choose something that's predominantly between the mid-tone to the darker tone, because that also will elongate you, make you look slimmer as well. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Barra. I have been a personal stylist for 26 years and I'm now here to help you build wardrobes that mix and match easily and have you feeling fabulous. So before I go on, please like, subscribe, comment below, share with your friends, because all of that genuinely helps me bring more content to you. Thank you so much in advance. Now, next up is fit and flare dresses. Similarly to what I talked about with the wrap dresses, what you want is something that comes over your bust, usually in a V-neck or a scoop neck would work best for you, and then gently skims out from there. So that's where the flare starts. Now, what we want to make sure, again, is that the fit part of this dress is quite high up. So you want it to be quite high-waisted, these dresses, so that then it skims over that tummy area. Now, it can go into a bit of a flare if you want it to, though I would say if you are quite petite and you are an apple shape, I would go for more of an A-line rather than a flare, because if you go for a flare, it can look quite overwhelming on a small frame with quite a large tummy. So fit and flare, have it go out in an A-line if you're quite petite. You can have it flare much more into a circle skirt if you are a little bit taller, but essentially just make sure the fit part of that dress is only a few inches down from where you come in under your bust. What you don't want to do is have it fitted all the way down to your belly button and then it kicks out, because where it's kicking out is where it's hiding that tummy gently, skimming that area. So you don't want it to come in and dig into you and then kick out. So make sure wherever that flare starts is slightly further up. Now, if you've put on weight around your tummy area or anywhere else and you're feeling really underwhelmed by the whole situation, you really struggle with outfits, not only dresses, but everything else, definitely book in for a discovery call with me. I'd love to meet you. I can have a chat to you about how I can help you. I'll put the link here and also in the notes. Next up is empire line dresses. Now, this is a similar feature. You think of the Edwardian dresses where it's very square across the top and then it gently flared out. Similar idea again, but these are particularly called empire line dresses. Now, sometimes you can get these and they've got a band which runs underneath the bust and goes all the way down, but I would choose a band which is darker rather than lighter. The reason why this works is because it's drawing attention to the thinnest part of your body. So that band is absolutely fine. What you don't want is to have a band which goes around where your actual widest part of your tummy is. So have that band underneath the bust and go all the way round. You can get this in tops or dresses, but yes, empire line dresses and tops will be your friend in this instance. Go for scoop neck or V-neck again, because the V-neck again will draw the eye down your body. Now, next up is another one of my favourites that I think works for pretty much every body type again, and that is tea dresses. Now, I know some of you stateside, etc., don't know what I mean by a tea dress. So think about those 1940s dresses that you used to see women wearing around that time. They often had a little bit of a collar on. They would come to a certain point. They often buttoned all the way down and then they would kick out in a flare. Now, so the key thing here again is the fact that it starts off quite fitted and then it kicks out in a flare. Now, what I will say with tea dresses is if they do button right up to the neck, I would have a couple of buttons down like this, because again, it creates that V and draws the eye down your body. So don't have all the buttons done right up to the collar. If you are an apple shape, it will just make you look a whole lot bigger. But look for tea dresses again where they are quite high-waisted, so the skirt starts quite high up on the body. Again, you could go for something which has florals on it, or maybe it has a polka dot on it. It's a classic style which can be dressed up or dressed down for evening. I think tea dresses are a fantastic addition to any wardrobe. Now, another little thing you could do with these, and they quite often come like this, they have slightly puffed sleeves. Sometimes that's quite good because it draws attention to the top half of your body rather than around your tummy area. So if you find one like that and it feels right for you, then definitely go for it. The only downside to that is if you are quite petite, it can make you look a little bit shorter. So maybe reduce that puff if you are quite petite. Now, if you have recently realised you are an apple shape and previously you were a different body shape and a lot of your clothes don't work for you anymore, definitely consider downloading my Capsule Wardrobe Blueprint. It's entirely free. It will give you lots of tips and tricks on what to keep in your wardrobe, what to get rid of, and how to think about your wardrobe in real practical terms. So I'll put the link to that here and also in the notes. I'd highly recommend that. Now, last but not least is ruched asymmetric dresses. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, you can sometimes get these dresses that are maybe knotted at the side, or they've got ruching that runs across the body diagonally and they gather at one side and then maybe they gently flare out. That type of thing, again, works really well. Now, the reason why is similarly to the wrap dress is that it draws the eye across the body in a diagonal. So we're not paying attention to this tummy, it's going across like that. Again, I would go for quite mid to darker colours because this material tends to be usually quite stretchy, so we don't want it to cling to us. But what we also don't want is a skirt which is very fitted. We want a skirt which is slightly A-line. But the features of this work really well because it draws the eye across the body. It also hides a multitude of sins in those kind of wraps that go across the body, and it can make the tummy sit back a bit. So if that's something that you would look for, I would look for a mid to darker colour, maybe with a V-neck again or a scoop neck, but something which draws the eye across and then the fabric goes in folds across the body. That can actually be quite a good feature for you as well. Let me know in the comments whether you've got any other tips for dresses for apple shapes, what you found has worked for you. Let me know if you're going to try any of these. Let me know if you go out and you try one on and it really works for you. I'd love to hear from you. So have a wonderful week wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.